So welcome to This is Getting Old, Moving Towards an Age-Friendly World. I'm your host, Melissa Batchelor, and this is the second part in a three-part series on Alzheimer's care. And today we're going to be talking about how to shampoo your hair when you can only sit in a chair. And in part one, I talked about some tips for transferring and dressing for someone that can basically only stand up and can't really even help to pivot to move. And then in part three, we'll be talking about different tips for eating and drinking when you're at home. So this past summer, I went home to help my 70-year-old mother take care of my 91-year-old grandmother. And she'd been in the nursing home for about a year and a half and had basically been in her room by herself for all of that time, had gotten really, really debilitated. My grandmother had been in the nursing home for about a year and a half, came home this past summer, and I went home to help my mom kind of really learn how to do some basic caregiving skills. And in doing so, realized that my grandmother has pretty significant seborrheic dermatitis, which is when your scalp gets a lot of dry skin on it. And so the other part of that was she's not able to lie back fully in the bed. Her neck won't extend backwards. And it's not like at home you have a beautician's, like a beauty shop kind of setup. So in trying to think about how we could do this, I took some video of us giving her, shampooing her hair and working on her seborrheic dermatitis. So my grandmother's also extremely cold. So we got her wrapped up and this went pretty well. So tip number one is to be organized and make sure that you have all of the equipment that you're going to need. So for her, we had a couple of towels, a couple of different washcloths, and then had her the special shampoo that you need to wash somebody's hair with. We had a brush and then a comb that had two different layers to it, which would allow to kind of coax the dry skin off of her scalp and then also get it out of her hair. So tip number two is the actual process for how to shampoo her hair while she's in a chair. So since she couldn't lean back, I was like, well, she can lean forward. Her hair is thin enough that we were able to wet it just with a washcloth. And so we wet her hair, added the shampoo, and for that, then just began to kind of scrub it with that brush to get to dislodge some of that dry skin. So then after we had brushed her scalp with the brush, we were able to rinse it. And for this, we just had her lean forward and cover her face with a washcloth. And then we could pour some warm water over her head from the back, but it wouldn't get in her face to kind of irritate her or agitate her. And had her covered with enough towels so that we didn't get anything wet. And then we were able to dry her hair, and she looked really good. So tip number three is also to incorporate play and to stay fancy. So we rinsed her hair, we dried her hair, and then in drying, use that other comb to pull some more of that dry skin out of her hair. And voila, we have a final product. So I actually didn't realize, apparently my family plays peep eyes quite a bit, because the story that I actually remember the most was putting grandma into bed at night, and we would pull the covers up over her all the way and then flip them back and say peep eyes. But even in this video, as I was watching it for this podcast, realized my mom also did peep eyes. And then, she bounced around and kind of, it made me laugh as well. So.
Goodbye.
I didn't know that you bought the house. I was playing
Give me that phone.
with
Give me that phone. Let's get that out of here. There. That's the skin. Yeah. You want to stand down there with it?
Even though caregiving is stressful and it does present some unique challenges that you may have to think through to learn how to deal with it, it is always important to remember to build in some fun and to be playful because those are the memories that you're probably going to remember the most. So thank you for tuning in today. This is part of a three-part series. And don't forget to drop a comment if you have other questions about basic caregiving skills for someone with Alzheimer's disease.
Thank you for tuning in to This is Getting Old, Moving Towards an Age-Friendly World. I'm your host, Melissa Batchelor, and if you'd like to learn more, you can check out my other episodes on my YouTube channel by subscribing and ringing the bell to get immediate notifications when new content comes out. In addition, you can also find the audio version of the podcast on Amazon Music, Spotify, iTunes, and Stitcher. Please feel free to leave an honest review because more reviews mean more awareness of the podcast and helps us move towards an age-friendly world. If you have a comment or a question, you can visit my website, melissabphd.com. Go to the Contact Melissa tab, and you can leave me a voice message. You never know, I might just include your question or your comment in an upcoming episode.